Welcome back to Chris Reviews Stuff. Today I'm doing a video on somewhat of fitness. So I've been doing some obstacle course races. You can see some other videos there for the Bone Frog, the Spartan, Tough Mudders and stuff. So part of that is actually building up grip strength and working your forearms. So I've been using the Captains of Crush. So I think this is like 137 pounds of pressure. This is the level 1.5. So you try to crush this to get this to touch each other. Can't really do it right now because I didn't warm up. But I still can't crush it, but I can get pretty close. So there's different levels of this, and I'm using this like maybe twice a week, doing between 3 to 5 sets of reps to build up my forearms. And this has really been helping. The Captains of Crush exercise thing. Pretty cool, and you can kind of hear it. It's not very loud, but I like it, and that's something I want to bring in later. But this video is on this NSD spinner. So these spinners here, that to work your forearms. They also say it's for rehab. So I know somebody that has carpal tunnel, and they kind of use this as well to kind of help that kind of work it out a little bit. I like it because I do feel a workout from this after using it a couple times a day. And I do take off days as well. Kind of sounds weird, but whatever. So anyway, this is the NSD spinner. It's actually branded as the NSD spinner. It's a gyroscopic exercises for your hand, wrist, and forearm. I do believe this one that I have here is capable of 15,000 RPMs, which is pretty good. It gives about, I think it's 20 pounds of pressure, or 22 pounds of pressure from your force. So there's different kinds of these spinners. I went for the little more expensive because I wanted to not spend like 30 bucks and not have what I want. This one was like 40 bucks, okay? So they do have some off brands from third-party retailers or whatever that make these. There's also like a gyro ball, which is a little more expensive. And like I said, this has about 20 pounds of pressure, a little bit more after you get it going. They have metal ones, titanium ones, which go up to 40 pounds and on. So you can actually get even more pound to your wrist to get more of an exercise. So there's two ways to actually use these kind of things. I went for the more advanced option. So sometimes what these have is this wheel in the center here is actually the gyroscopic. So it's the gyroscope set, spins around all different kinds of ways. There's two different ways to start it. The one I went with the advanced, and I'll put a link to it in the description here. So what you do is it's just kind of like one of those old wind-up toys if you were a kid that have the toys you kind of pull back and then you let go and the car goes forward. Very similar. So you start the wheel just by pushing it in the way of the direction, and it gets this gyro spinning, and then you can take on afterwards. The other option that I didn't pick, which is a little cheaper, you put a piece of string in here, and you wind that string up, and then you pull it, and it gets it going. It didn't seem bad. I watched other videos using the string. I just thought it'd be kind of a pain in the butt to have to worry about doing that, because I do like to use this every once in a while, just kind of in the office while I'm sitting at my desk. And that makes it quicker using the AutoStart, it's called. Another option here is this LCD screen in the front, or LED screen. No batteries. It's killer. So no batteries to get this going. What actually powers this is as you get going, I think it's above 3,000 RPMs, which is rather simple to do. You'll actually see this light up. Now this LED screen here will display your top RPMs, or it'll show your current RPMs. It'll show you how many cycles you're doing and stuff like that. It's kind of interesting. It's a nice, neat feature, but it's a little difficult to use at times. They're also rated and certified, so that way you can enter into their monthly top speed contest, which is pretty cool. So if you have one of these, you can get it going, and they'll actually say that this is certified. The highest spin will win their contest, and I don't know what the prizes are, but I did see that. Now this is pretty cool because it does show you your current RPMs and the max RPMs and such. However, the current RPMs isn't too useful to an extent. It is, but it isn't, because when you really get this going, it shakes a lot, it moves. It's very hard to see your RPMs. So even if you hold it with two hands, it still has this I don't know if it's centrifugal, but it has a force to it. It actually starts still moving it in your hand, so it's very hard to read the readout because it's moving so much. Once it gets a little slower, you can kind of see it, but once you're up in 8,000 RPMs and higher, it's rather difficult to read. I like this one. Another reason I went with it is it's kind of a name brand. More people had it. I saw on YouTube. It had really good reviews as opposed to the off brands. It is a little more money, but I think that was what attracted me to it as well, is it was a little bit more money than the $20 or sub $20 gyros. One of the bad things about this is I do like to do this while I'm on conference calls or just sitting on my desk, kind of work my forearms. It just kind of keeps you busy. It's kind of loud. So let me actually get it started. So because I did get the AutoStart, you notice it does spin one way, no problem. But the other way, pointing towards the arrows, if I push that, you'll kind of feel it kind of giving a little feedback to you, and then you let go and it gets it started. Okay, so you just kind of do a flick of the wrist. Now, I don't know how to explain how you do it. You just kind of do circles. I tried to get some other people to do these, and they do have a hard time getting it going. I think mine's kind of dirty. So let me try to get this going. I like to do it with the wheel out, because that way the wheel doesn't touch my hand. And it kind of hurts. So if the wheel is going pretty fast, I like to keep the wheel on the outside like this. It's harder to read the LCD screen, or whatever the screen out. But if you touch that wheel while it's going fast, it's going to hurt. It's going to burn. So let me get a little closer so you can kind of hear it. So I mean, that's doing about 6,000 RPMs. Rather easy. You can kind of see me just kind of holding on to it. I'm not holding too hard. I'm giving it just a little bit of wrist action. You can also go much bigger. And you'll feel, which is kind of cool too, it gets a little bit of feedback on the inside. You'll feel the gyros jump, which means you're not doing it right. So if you go a little bigger, you'll feel it. Some other exercises are holding out straight. That one really gets me. I can feel it all in here. I did a little warm up with this before so I can get going. Now I'm just holding this at 6,100 RPMs. Once you get the ball going that high, it's rather easy to transfer between hands. Just don't drop it. You gotta be careful because, like I said, it does provide some feedback and it's moving. So let me stop moving it. You'll see I'm not moving this. This is my arm now I'm moving it again. I'm gonna get it going a little bit more. And then that's the ball moving my hand. I'm just holding on to it. So it does give you some feedback. And you're gonna get moving. It's fighting against you. That's where the pressure, that's where the workout comes, or the rehab. You know, you don't always have to get really fast. You're just trying to get a little burn. You're trying to get the rehab back in your wrist. You can go up, down, left and right. You can even do these full circles. And you'll feel the gyro on the inside kind of jump and skip when you know you're doing it wrong. So it's just a nice fluid motion. And you'll feel it. And actually, you'll see too, is the LED screen will light up, okay? I also like to do my fingers just on the rubber part. And this is kind of hard too because it works on your grip strength a little bit more because your fingers are holding it while it's fighting you. And you can feel it in your forearms. It's pretty cool. It's kind of a luxury toy, I would say. I do believe it is helping me on my forearms. Do I feel I'm getting stronger? I don't know because I'm kind of, maybe. But I can definitely see that I've been able to do this much longer than normally after using it for about a month. So that's 6,100 RPMs. I'll switch it over. But it is pretty cool. I do like it. I think it's giving me a good workout. I can feel it. However, this is not something you can do while you're on the phone, on a conference call or not, because it is kind of loud, especially when you're using, you might even be able to hear it now, especially when you're using like speakers. It is loud. You have to remember to put this under the desk so it doesn't get picked up by your microphone. So it may not be the best like office thing to have, but it's nice. It is a good conversation piece. A lot of people come by, hey, what is that? But it's not very easy to pick up. I've only had one person at work, maybe like 8, that actually picked this up and have actually gotten it going, and not going very fast, but going at all. I think if they were to give it a little bit more time, maybe they can get it. It's not very difficult, but if you just pick this up the first time, you are not going to get it. So like I said, it's just more of like, if you watch my hand, just kind of a circle, and up and down once it gets going. It's pretty cool. For 40 bucks, I'm happy with it. I wish it was cheaper because I don't really feel like I get $40 worth out of it. But I've been using it for about a month and I don't feel it's bad yet. I did mention it's dirty, I think, because it does sometimes get hard to get started. You can take this apart and take the gyro apart and put it back together, they say. I watched the video. It seemed pretty easy to do. I haven't had to do that yet. It might be dirty. That's why it's hard to get started. I'm not sure. But I can get it started once it gets going. I don't feel it's dirty now once it's going, I feel it just harder to get something started at first. I don't know if it's just in my mind or not, but that's what it is. So let me see if I can get it going really fast, and if you can hear it. Really fast for me is like 9,000 RPMs. I can't get much faster. Now I'm going to show you what the screen looks like, if I can hold it. Two arms, is, you gotta hold it. So let's go in 9,800 RPMs right there was the max. And then to change what the readout is on the screen, it's really easy, and sometimes it's too easy. There's just a button on it, and you press the button to change what the readout is. So that's the NSD spinner, nsdspinner.com. I picked this up off of Amazon because the reviews are what I wanted to read about. So both the NSD spinner and the Captain's a Crush, I believe, are really helping my grip strength. Just trying to be able to do more, grab onto the weights longer and hold them. And I think it's kind of cool to be able to open any can or jar of pickles.